Hi there folks, and welcome to the first video of Chapter 6, How Cells Harvest Chemical Energy. In a plant system, this process called cellular respiration starts in the chloroplasts. In plant cells, chloroplasts undergo photosynthesis so they can absorb heat and light energy from the sun, pair that with carbon dioxide so they can pull the carbon dioxide apart and use that carbon to manufacture sugars, usually glucose. Glucose then gets sent over to the mitochondria where it can get broken down and the energy that's being stored in its molecular bonds can be released to charge up an important molecular battery called ATP. There are a number of different molecules which are important to our cellular processes that help give energy to the different cycles our body needs to run in its cells to keep functioning. But ATP is the most important. It stands for adenosine triphosphate, which means that it's a molecule carrying 3 phosphate bonds. And a phosphate bond stores a lot of energy. Breaking one adds a lot of energy to a process inside a cell, which makes ATP a fairly portable and powerful little battery. In animal cells, however, we can't just take in carbon dioxide and use it to make sugars. Instead, we breathe in oxygen, which goes from our lungs to our blood, and that gets carried throughout our body and dropped off wherever our body needs it. It also picks up the waste product from our version of cellular respiration, carbon dioxide. Yeah, plants release as their waste product what we need for our cellular respiration, and we release what they need for their cellular respiration. Cool little cycle, isn't it? Either way, whether you're looking in plants or in animals, cellular respiration uses sugar and breaks it down, or other nutritive molecules, and breaks them down to charge ATP and other battery type molecules, which then get used to do everything we require our bodies to do. Every activity you can possibly put your body to, even if it's fairly simple and relaxed, requires some energy. It doesn't have to be something more strenuous like hiking or playing basketball or swimming. It could be something pretty prosaic, like sitting in class or watching TV. All right? Keep this in mind the next time you're feeling a little bored. You're still doing work. Maybe you're just not feeling it yet. Our cells capture energy when they break down glucose through something called a redox reaction. First, electrons are taken away from glucose and given to oxygen. This is the oxidizing part of an oxidative reduction reaction. The reduction part is when oxygen accepts those electrons. Just to clarify, oxidation is when electrons are taken away from a molecule. Reduction is when those electrons are given to another molecule. This movement of electrons from one molecule to another releases energy, which gets used to charge up ATP and a few other things. Our cells also use something called an electron transport chain, which is basically just the same process but as a whole chain reaction. This occurs in the mitochondria, where another molecular battery, NAD+, gives up an electron and becomes NADH, that keeps getting passed down to other little intermediate carriers, and which each time releases a little more energy. And each time a little energy is released, it's in small enough amounts that the cell can harness it and use it to charge up some more ATP. Chapter 6 gets into further stages and more of the details of how to charge up ATP later on. I'll see you there. Bye, folks.